And we want to welcome now Kate Ryder. She is CEO of Maven Clinic, where companies from Microsoft and Amazon to even the NBA have turned to her company for health services, including menopause benefits. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So when we talk about women's healthcare, the focus is usually on pregnancy, on childbirth. Yet menopause is your fastest growing program. How much of it do you think is tied to increased demand for these services because there's less stigma attached to it?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think once the global zeitgeist started to talk about menopause, it originated actually back in the UK a few years ago when some female MPs in Parliament said, hey, we can't work with these types of symptoms. We need to talk about this. Then what we saw is a lot of our global clients, and particularly their UK employees, started asking for menopause benefits. And so sure enough, it actually jumped over to our side of the pond. And then a lot of celebrities, we were just talking about Naomi Watts, which is amazing to see her continue to kind of, push the menopause awareness. So when we launched our menopause product in 2022, late 2022, and then really scaled it in 2023, I mean, it's been incredible. Healthcare isn't traditionally the fastest moving industry, but it's our fastest growing product. As you said, over 500 of our companies now have it.
What specific services do you offer?
So we offer everything from access to OBGYNs who specialize in menopause. One statistic that just blew my mind when getting into this part of the industry is only 20% of OBGYN residents are trained in menopause. So one of the big issues is that women go to the doctor and the doctors don't know what to say. So access to OBGYNs who specialize in it, access to HRT prescriptions, access to other prescriptions, not just HRT, whether it could be sleep medication or anti-anxiety meds, but really just helping with 90-day symptom relief. And then that's kind of a stepping stone into other support around anti-aging and midlife.
Well, I am curious about some of the other support areas too, particularly outside of just the pharmaceutical side of it here, because there's obviously a much broader component when it comes to managing this, not just for the woman herself, but really her family and friends as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the number one symptom actually reported in our population is weight gain. And so dietitians, on-demand dietitians that we offer on Maven are one of our more popular booked providers behind OBGYNs and mental health providers.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. economy, I was reading, is losing more than $26.5 billion a year due to lost productivity and health expenses resulting from employees who are managing these menopause symptoms. I mean, that number is kind of staggering. So from where you sit, when the companies engage with you about your menopause program, this for them is about retaining talent, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's also a health equity issue. It's just been such a gap in the healthcare system that over the last few years, particularly since the pandemic, as we as a healthcare industry look more and more on how to deliver care more equitably, menopausal women and women in midlife were a huge part of the population that were left behind. Also, a lot of the buyers are going through menopause themselves. And so
interesting.
You can imagine the passion across the table when they get to see, one of our client advisory board members who was going through menopause when she was kind of inputting on the product and then launched the product. She was giving us direct feedback on all the providers, and so she was very, very excited.
Yeah, of course, with senior experienced women, half your population is going to be going through this, so it's something that hits home. One obstacle in menopause care is that there still really isn't consensus in the medical community on whether hormone replacement therapy, HRT, is a good thing or not, or whether women should just endure it. You talked about how a lot of doctors aren't trained in it. How do you navigate all of that?
So absolutely. And one of the other statistics that's been surprising is as we've looked at our menopause users over the last year, 60% of them actually don't want HRT. And so they're saying they would like to look at alternatives beyond hormonal drugs. And so I think it's because of this lack of research. There's a lot of anxiety around if I take HRT now, could that lead to issues later on? And so we see of all of our members that come into the program, of those eligible for prescriptions, 60% of them take them, but of that, only 40% of them are non-hormonal. And so, I think that there's also a lot of people in menopause that could be an induced menopause due to breast cancer or other issues. And so those people also would not be eligible for HRT.